When you play baseball in New England, you take whatever gaps the weather gives you. And for UMass Boston, that means coming off of a win yesterday afternoon, a quick doubleheader before night falls today, and the rain falls tomorrow. Live from Monon Park, just off the harbor in Boston, Massachusetts, my name is Milton Posner, and you are watching UMass Boston Baseball on the Beacon's Broadcast Network. Today it's the Northern Vermont University-Lyndon Hornets coming to town to face off with head coach Brendan Eigebrote's Beacons. For UMass Boston, this is a chance to get another game in. They've had some schedule upheavals in the beginning. And no, it's not COVID-19, it's the weather out here. A couple of games rescheduled. LaSalle was played yesterday rather. It was supposed to be closer to the opener at the beginning of this month. And the game that was supposed to take place on Wednesday against Brandeis University is going to be postponed and played at a later date, possibly combined into a doubleheader with the game against Brandeis later this month. We will see what's to become of that one. But for UMass Boston, it means they've gotten 2 games under their belt so far. The first was a game against Framingham State on Monday, a 10-1 victory for the Beacons, in which they set a program record with 21 strikeouts. A measly 17 strikeouts keyed their next win over LaSalle University. That was an 8-0 domination. And now they come into this one, their first doubleheader of the season, trying to keep the steamroller moving. For the Hornets, little bit of a different story here. They haven't played in about a week and a half, and when they did play, they had 9 games at the Russ Matt Central Florida Invitational in Winter Haven, Florida. 9 games, Mount Vernon, Bates, Grove City, a pair against Carthage, a pair against Rose Hulman, and a pair against Finlandia. The doubleheader against Finlandia were the only 2 games that they won of those 9. They are 2-7 overall, as you can see. Neither team has commenced conference play. But down there in Florida, before those Finlandia games, it was a difficult time for the Hornets. They ceded 10 or more runs in 5 of those 7 losses. Only twice have they held their opponent under 8 runs. And for a UMass Boston team that scored 18 runs through their opening 2 games, this could be a chance for some bludgeonings. Brief note, this was originally supposed to be tomorrow, this doubleheader, and it was supposed to start about an hour earlier than we are starting today. Or excuse me, it was supposed to start several hours earlier than we are starting today. The upshot of this is that this is going to be 2 7-inning games, barring extras, of course, rather than the traditional 18-inning slate. Climbing the hill for the Beacons in this one, it's the freshman left-hander Keenan Metrick. 6 foot, 175 pounds, out of Malvern, Pennsylvania. Head coach Brendan Eigebrote says he's penciled in as the number 4 starter. We have not seen him so far. And in this, the 3rd game, he makes his Beacons debut. He has got a difficult act to follow here. That's because through 2 games, the pitchers have been the focal point for UMass Boston despite the offensive outpouring. They have ceded just 1 run and struck out a combined 38 batters. Yesterday, it was Tim Cienciolo, career-high 10 strikeouts. The day before, it was Alex Amalfi and Dylan Ryan, both of whom had 9 strikeouts. For Amalfi, that ties a career high. For Ryan, it was 1 short of his. 21 strikeouts, that is the program record against Framingham State. Did it in 9 innings of action, which, if you're familiar with baseball in any kind of close capacity, you understand just how insane that is. Not just that you have to be exceptionally skilled, you have to be overpowering the opponents, finessing your way around them, out-locating them. You got to be doing all the things right. In a 9-inning game, though, you only have 27 outs to make. There were only 6 non-strikeout outs in that first game against the Rams, and for that matter, only 10 non-strikeout putouts in the game against LaSalle yesterday. So UMass Boston coming into this game riding some momentum, and Keenan Patrick in particular looking to be the steward of the momentum from the mound. We'll get to the lineup in just a little bit because they have starred in their own right. But for Northern Vermont University, this is going to be a tricky one to overcome, particularly because their earned run average through their opening 9 games has not been what their head coach, Reese Tangy, would like. Just about ready to get things going here. It's the leadoff man, The catcher slash super utility Ryder Thornton will step in against Metric. Odd to see a catcher leading off here, or in any game at any level. But Thornton plays the utility position as well. Normally see a guy more likely to be playing any other of the 7 fielding positions than catcher and anything else. But there you have it. First pitch is fouled away, and away we go. Sun just starting to set over Monon Park here. We're starting about 15 minutes late on this one. Looks like the Hornets were a little bit delayed getting to the ballpark. It can happen if you drive around in Boston long enough. Pitch nibbles the outside corner, and the count 0-2 quickly on the leadoff man for Northern Vermont University-Lyndon. Beacon's defense playing about straight away. Big hook high, and first ball of the game. Save for the second baseman, Aiden Blake, who's playing about a step off of the, let's call it the infield dirt. High and away, ball 2, and the count goes even. Thornton 9 of 30 on the young season. Slugging percentage of about 400. And leading the team in runs batted in with 6. Chops it back into the screen and stays alive. He's swiped 2 of 2 bags, scored 5 runs. He's got the lone triple on the season. And remember, when we say all these things, he is the catcher. Big hole up the middle. Beacon's playing the sides a little bit more aggressively. 2-2 pitch. Swings and chops at it. Fly ball, medium right center field. Coming on to snag it is the right fielder, Herrera. And we have one away in the top of the first.
The shortstop, number 7, E.J. Camden.
E.J. Camden, the shortstop, strolls to the dish here. 5 of his first 26, still without an extra base hit. And a number of walks and strikeouts, both to his name. 5'7" shortstop out of Corona, California. Metric deals big spinning breaking ball. Ump won't give it to him. Strays just inside, and the count 1-0. Metric likes to spin that breaking ball in there. One of the few lefties here on this Beacons roster, and that fastball sails high, 2-0. So after getting right after the first hitter, Thornton falls behind to the second hitter, Camden. Camden back of the box, hugging the plate. Pitch comes in, just nibbles the high and outside corner, and the count 2-1. For the Beacons, the defense lines up this way. It's Jake Woltman at first, Aiden Blake at second, Gianni Zorilli at short, as that pitch comes in for a strike. Drew Metzdorf at third. The outfield from left to right, Tom Q, Steve Brookwell, and Ethan Herrera. DH spot filled by R.J. Menert. And Keenan Metric on the mound, throwing to Craig Corliss behind the plate. Count runs full now. Three-two pitch. Camden swings through it, and the first strikeout of the day for the Beacons. Metric blew it by him.
The third baseman, number 4, Skylar Bushy.
Skylar Bushy to the plate now. Exciting freshman for the Hornets out of St. Albans, Vermont. 13 hits through their opening 9 games. That's good for a .371 average. And he's crossed the plate a team-leading 9 times. That curveball dives low, 1-0. It's limited the strikeouts, too. Just 2 of them through his opening 35 at-bats. He's got 3 doubles under his name. That pitch called strike from Metric. Looking to get some innings out of him. The doubleheader a day after a game, and that just popped a mile high. That'll stay on the infield. Metric circling under it and gives way to the third baseman, Metzdorf, dancing over the mound and the rubber as well to make the catch. 1-2-3 go the Hornets in the top of the first inning. Beacons coming up next. They've got Brookwell, Q, and Metzdorf, the big bats, to lead it off. Three-two pitch. Camden swings through it, and the first strikeout of the day for the Beacons. Metric blew it by him. The doubleheader a day after a game, and that just popped a mile high. That'll stay on the infield. Metric circling under it and gives way to the third baseman, Metz. Coming over the mound from Metzdorf right there, as it took a minute for Keenan Metric to give way. You normally don't have the pitcher make catches like that coming off the mound, and there is a reason for that. But the Beacons sorted it out just in time, and now they get to face off against Carlos Rodriguez, freshman left-hander, 6'3" out of La Mirada, California. Decent number of California kids on this Hornets squad. Alberto Bustamante from Los Angeles as well. You do love to see it. But it's going to be Rodriguez here. He has played in 2 games. He has started 2 games. He has been shellacked in 2 games. Playing some good teams down there in Florida, to be sure. But over 8 innings, ceded 13 runs, 9 of them earned, for a ballooned 10.13 earned run average. 9 strikeouts across those 8 innings, definitely a plus, though. And Steve Brookwell to lead it off for UMass Boston, the graduate outfielder out of Hightstown, New Jersey. Coach Egerbrot said he looked very good in the preseason. Pencils in as a top 4 bat on this team. He turns that one over to short. This is going to be a close play at first. Strong throw across the diamond, beats him. It took a good throw from E.J. Camden to retire Brookwell, who does have great speed out of the leadoff spot. And now it's going to be Tom Q, one of the co-captains in his senior season after a stellar season last year. 317. Oh, and he smacks that one into medium right field, battling the sun there. And hauling in the catch is the right fielder, Tyler Roberge. So a couple of very quick outs there for Rodriguez. The Beacons not content to let the pitches go by. And now the batter out of the number 3 spot, Drew Metzdorf. Another one of the big bats here. Transfer this season. It was a great pickup for Coach Egerbrot. $14 at-bats for UMass Amherst in 2018 before transferring down to the Division III level. Pops that one a mile high, coming over towards the Beacons dugout. Will there be room? There will be room, but the ball falls. It was a long way. The wind looked like it blew it back a little bit. And it was the catcher, Ryder Thornton, coming a long way for that one on a ball that might have been more properly handled by the first baseman, Frisha. Instead, it's going to be a gift for Metzdorf as the at-bat continues, and he takes ball one up by his nose. What would have been a very quick third out here on just the fifth pitch of the inning is it going to extend the at-bat instead. And another pop fly, a weaker one this time, closer to Thornton, and ably handled that time. So the Beacons go down 1-2-3, same as the Hornets. The end of one inning, no runs, no hits. We will take a quick break and be right back with the top of the second inning. Jordan Kane to get us going, followed by Tyler Roberge and Dylan Wilson, the 4-5-6 hitters here for NVU against Keenan Metrick. Had a 1-2-3 top of the first inning with a strikeout to his name. Kane standing 5'11", weighing 265 at a nearby Merrimack, Massachusetts. Metrick off-speed pitch in for a strike. Count 1-1. Shortstop shifted way over into the hole, but the second baseman playing at roughly normal depth. Maybe a little bit further back, but if you can see the shortstop way over in the hole there, almost as if they'd been playing a shift. So a big swath of space up the middle is available here to Jordan Kane, who takes ball two. Count is even now. Metrick winds, deals. Fly ball whacked into left field, moving back on it and out of room as it bounces up against the wall. And it's going to be a long single for Kane as it sailed over the head of Thomas Q on a ringing single. First base runner of the game for either team, and it sets the table for the Hornets in the second. It's Tyler Roberge now, the right fielder out of Essex, Vermont. 7 hits through his first 21 at-bats. 2 RBIs here, looking for a third. He has also struck out 5 of those 21 times. Kane with a short lead off of first. Curveball spun in for a strike. Metric trying to establish multiple pitches for strikes here in the early going. Wines fires another breaking ball, this one well off the plate. Count 1-1 to Roberge. Kane hanging off of first there, has not tried a stolen base this season. In the DH spot today. Swing and a miss at the plate, and Roberge down 1-2. Kane normally would either catch or play first base, but they've got him in the DH spot today. A lot of combo catchers at this level, something you don't always see in Division I. Other levels of the sport. Oh, and a generous outside corner there. And Roberge goes back to the bench empty-handed. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Keenan Metric. And the second baseman, Dylan Wilson, strolls to the dish. Pop in the mitt. Strike, says the ump, and the count 0-1. So 1-on, 1 out for the Hornets. Metric, the left-hander, he's got Kane well in his sights, fires low and away. UMass Boston looking for their third and fourth consecutive wins to start the season. They don't begin conference play until the end of the month. That fastball high, 2-1. They will begin that conference slate after a trip. They're going to play MIT in town. They've got 4 games against Concordia University down in Texas. High pop fly. That one's sailing over us here in the press box and drifting over toward the first base line, out of play. They've got Johnson and Wales after the Concordia trip, heading up to Salve Regina, and then begins the conference slate. WestCon doubleheader on the 26th of March. For the Hornets, they are going to, after this series, that breaking ball drifts in. Ball 3 is the call. Hornets will play a trio of non-conference doubleheaders against Massachusetts Maritime, against Fisher and Leslie, Norwich, Plymouth State as well, before their conference play begins the second week of April. That one's swing tipped off at the plate, and no, it's going to be strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Keenan Metric. And with 2 outs now, the batter will be the center fielder, John Mahoney. Mahoney doubling as a pitcher on this team as well. He had 1 start of 3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, including a home run, and 3 walks. One of any number of Hornets pitchers who did not necessarily fare well down in Winter Haven at the Russ Matz Central Florida Invitational. Oh and 1. Pitch comes in the dirt. Blocked there by Corliss. Jordan Kane, the DH, still leading off a first after a long single to the wall to lead off the frame, but has been stranded there watching his teammates grasp at air ever since. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. And a ball has not been put in place since Kane did it. Infield at normal depth here. 2 outs, 1-2 pitch to John Mahoney. Low, ball 2. Metric 30 pitches in here. Has thrown 18 of them for strikes. Fires this one, shot back into the screen. So Mahoney doing whatever he can to extend the AB. Wines deals outside, and the count runs full. And so Kane will get a running start from first base. Corliss clarifying the plan with a dugout. One of the senior leaders on this team. Wines deals tipped off at the plate, and we'll do it again. They're not bothering to hold Kane on first anymore. Takes a slightly larger lead now, and there he goes off towards second. Pitch is high, and the first walk of the game from Metric is going to put 2 on with 2 out. And the number 8 hitter, Steven Frisha, coming to the plate.
The first baseman, number 28, Frisha.
Frisha, in his 21 at-bats so far this season, just 3 hits, one of them a double, but with 4 runs batted into his name, has come up in a couple of timely spots for the Hornets. The Hornets as a team, 4.3 runs per game. That puts them about middle of the pack in the North Atlantic Conference. Metric fires in. First pitch curveball again for a strike. Takes a certain amount of guts here, especially on a freshman, to be throwing your breaking ball for strikes on the first pitch in your first college game. But ladies and gentlemen, Keenan Metric. Swing and a miss on the second off-speed pitch, and he's really toying with him now. Got him 0-2. And so after getting ahead in the count on the number 7 hitter, John Mahoney, and letting it slip away from him, producing a walk, Metric's got a chance to right the ship here. Here comes the 0-2. Outside. Corliss can't frame it. Try as he might. A little bit too close to nibble at the zone, and the count 1-2. Outfield playing straight away. Infield at about normal depth. That pitch sawed off just foul down the third base line. The count stays 1-2. Frisha, .357 on-base percentage, telling perhaps a more complete story than the abysmal average so far. He has been solid at reaching base in the first place. 4 walks to his name this season. That's not going to be one of them. A hit and a walk, but Metric fans the side, and 4 strikeouts through 2 innings in his first Beacon start. We'll be right back with the top of the second. Corliss, Blake, and Zorilli for the Beacons. Stick around.
I think it's a new era at UMass Boston where only good things can happen.
It's great to have a world-class chancellor in a world-class city.
He can bring people together.
He is a world-class academic leader and is one of the pioneers of the field of immigration studies. I felt that this was the grand mission that was kind of the culmination of his research, his leadership. He sees what he can do at UMass is really leaving a mark for generations of students to come.
I am very proud to recommend Marcelo Torres Orozco be appointed Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Boston.
I think that the responsibility of the Chancellor is to tell and retell the story of the fundamental contributions a public research university make and will continue to make moving forward. In this unique city, the city of education, the city of immigration, our Athens.
I believe that Marcelo is the right person at the right time.
Everyone's going to be excited about having him as our next chancellor.
Metric winds, deals. Fly ball whacked into left field, moving back on it and out of room coming as it bounces up against the wall. Looked like it might be the beginnings of a rally. Single for Kane. We see, but 3 strikeouts surrounding the next walk from Keenan Metric sent the Hornets back to the dugout empty-handed. And a generous outside corner of the Beacons order. Roberge have a chance to do some damage. Play begins the second week of April. Leading off That one swing
The
tipped
big
off at the
catcher,
plate,
Craig
and
Corliss,
no, it's going to be
6-1
207. 4 walks to his name this
Sometimes
season.
he's going to catch.
That's
sometimes
not
he'll
going to be
DH,
one of them.
sometimes he will play first.
He is their top returning hitter without a shadow of a doubt, as he takes strike one to even up the count. 1-1. Last season, an all-conference player, he led UMass Boston with, quite frankly, a ridiculous slash line. Takes strike two. 361 average, on base 45% of the time, slugging above 540. Led the team in runs, led him in hits, led him in total bases, led him in extra base hits. He's looked good in the preseason. He takes, a very close one high. A disciplined take from Corliss, and the count runs even. Coach Eigerbrod expecting a big year from him, says he looked good in the preseason. Digs that one out, floats it in a shallow center, and that's going to fall. Beacons have their first hit of the game, and it's Craig Corliss. Aiden Blake strolling to the dish now. 4 hits and 7 at-bats so far. And among those 4 hits, he's got something of a cycle of sorts. He's got a single, double, triple, and a home run, albeit across 2 different games. Has scored twice, knocked in 4 runs. And takes high and away, but in the zone for strike one. Blake, infielder, 6 foot tall out of Lakeville, Massachusetts. Guy who took great strides in the offseason. His head coach citing him in particular as someone he expects big things from in his junior season. Important to remember that a lot of the younger guys, pretty much anyone who's not a senior on this team, had their development inhibited in one way or another by the COVID troubles. Remember, the team played just their first 4 games in 2020 before the world shut down and had some difficulties last season getting into the flow of things. Pickoff goes to first, and scrambling back, standing up is Corliss. And a balk! Corliss will take second for free, and a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And the ever-elusive balk comes back to bite Carlos Rodriguez here. And now, instead of a runner in his field of view, he's got one creeping off the bag behind him. 2-1 on Aiden Blake, who would love to get the scoring started here. That one floats in calmly for a strike. 2-2. But the development hampered for players like Blake. He finally got a real offseason coming into the year and ready to do some damage. He's got the whole right side open. Second baseman scampers back, swing and a miss, and down goes Blake. Second strikeout of the day for Carlos Rodriguez. And with 1 out, the batter will be Gianni Zarilli Jr.
The shortstop, number 3, Gianni Zarilli Jr.
Zarilli with a runner in scoring position now. That one hooking inside low, down by his shins. And the count 1-0. Second baseman Wilson pinched in close to watch Corliss, who's taking a decent-sized lead there off the bag. Second baseman feinting, now returning to his regular position as Zarilli takes strike one. Zarilli, another guy that Coach Eigerbrod said took great strides in the offseason. He takes a big hack at that one and comes up empty, 1-2. 4 hits in his first 9 trips, one of them a home run in yesterday's game against LaSalle. 1-2 pitch comes home and he swings right through it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Rodriguez. And after a single by Corliss and a balk sending him to second, Rodriguez has settled in. And now it's up to the number 7 hitter, R.J. Menert, in the DH spot today. Big guy standing up there at the plate, 6'3", 235. And looking for his second hit in his 8th trip to the plate this season. And oh, that swing's not going to get it done for you. Kind of a T-Rex short arm swing there as the breaking ball dove in on his hands. Good opening pitch from Rodriguez, 0-1 the count. Comes at him with a fastball. There goes Corliss, and he is dead to rights at third base. Third out of the inning comes at third, and the Beacons strand a runner. We're going to go to the end of the second. No runs for either squad, but both break through with a hit, and the pitchers respond in kind. Get a replay here at Craig Corliss's ill-fated voyage to third base as Ryder Thornton guns him down. Brings up every time it happens the merits of when you try to steal third base / when you try to tag up on a sac fly, advance first to third on a single, whatever have you. That making the second out of the inning at third base is somewhat forgivable, because you're putting yourself in good position should there be a sac fly, slow ground out, infield single, sharp outfield single, whatever have you. Making the first out or the third out at third base is generally frowned upon. And so for Corliss, the speed is less of a question. There is some speed from him there. But as the cleanup hitter going for third, you do have to wonder. Parker Perrin, the sophomore outfielder, strides to the plate here. It'll be him and then back to the top of the order for Thornton, who just threw out Corliss at third, and then E.J. Camden, the shortstop. That ball squirts through the wickets there of Corliss, and ball one. Still no score in the top of the third inning. I'm glad you landed with us. Milton Posner here bringing you UMass Boston baseball. Facing off against NVU-Lyndon as that one sliced back into the fence. One and one as Keenan Metrick has given up the one hit to Jordan Kane through 2 innings and not much more. That one just high at about the chest. 2-1. That one coming inside and 3-1. One of the few favorable counts so far. For the most part, Metrick's been staying ahead of these guys. 3-1 the count now. Perrin slices that one. This is going to be a tough catch. They're all converging on it, and it drops. No man's land amid a trio of defenders, and the second hit of the game for the Hornets. The wind, oddly enough, may have kept that one out of foul territory. Wind's blowing more or less out toward right center. And now it's Ryder Thornton. Retired his first time up. And a big hook from Metrick, but it stays high, and Corliss telling him to calm down and settle in. This is what you worry about with a freshman pitcher, that if he starts giving up hits, he loses the faith to locate his breaking ball for a strike. And he tags the outside corner well there, 1-1. Getting that first pitch in for a strike was key to his efforts. He's recorded 4 of his 6 outs by the strikeout. Deals home, that one's high and away, and Perrin taking some leads there off of second base, making Metric think a little bit. We have not seen a stolen base so far today. We have, however, seen a balk. And what is the balk if not the more entertaining cousin of the stolen base? That ball chopped over toward the parking lot in right field and out of play. Sun continues to set here. Wind starts to pick up a little bit, and it's going out toward right center with a little bit more gusto there. 2-2, nobody out. Perrin leads from first. Big hook stays high. 3-2 now. And Metric, after getting ahead on the leadoff hitter here, or the number 1 hitter rather, in danger of walking him and pushing a runner into scoring position. That ball popped into right center field, coming over a couple of outfielders. It's going to be the right fielder, Herrera, who snags it. 1 away in the top of the third, and the batter will be E.J. Camden. Struck out swinging his first time up. First pitch sails in for a strike. Metric keeping a close watch here. It's a small lead. And Corliss feigning him back to second. Confident in Metric to keep him away from home plate if the defense collectively can keep him off a second. Big hook. Good pitch there from Metric in the count 1-2. Another hook. This one doesn't hook enough. And it'll wind up in the dirt as well. Skylar Bushy, the number 3 hitter on deck. One of the better hitters on this squad, but a swing and a miss there, and down goes Camden for the second out. 5th strikeout of the day from Metric. And if nothing else, he has continued the Beacon stretch of torrid pitching. That's Bushy, the freshman, already penciled into the number 3 spot in just the 10th game of the season. Retired on a pop-up his first time up. Cracks the ground ball, diving, and it's through in the center field. 3rd hit of the game, and the runners on first and second now for Jordan Kane, who's made the hardest contact and hit the best ball fair of anyone today.
The designated hitter number 30 is Jordan.
And a real chance to do some damage here. Sharp ground ball up the middle for Bushy. Sets the table for the designated hitter and the cleanup man, Jordan Kane. Kane smacked a high fly ball, call it a fly liner, into left center field his first time up. Not the fleetest of foot. He was held to a single, would have gone as a double for most players. 0-1 pitch here now from Metric. Leans in, snags the sign from Corliss. Fires. Kane swung late at that one, and Metric's got him on the ropes. 0-2 now. Second baseman backing up, shortstop going about to the lip of the grass and then coming in. They want to cut down on Perrin's lead. Here's the 0-2. Kane reaches out and pokes it. This one could be dangerous, and it falls. The first run of the game belongs to the Hornets on a bloop single from Jordan Kane. Perrin comes in to score. And Keenan Metrick, through a pair of bloop singles and a ground ball up the middle, has given up the first run of the game. Tyler Roberge now. Runners at the corners, 2 out, still a chance to add on. And given the team's statistical profiles coming in here, you have to imagine they want to tack on as many runs as they can get right here. It's officially going to go as a single and an error on the right fielder, Ethan Herrera. High pop flies. That one going to stay in play. There's plenty of room by the Beacons dugout, and it will stay in play for the first baseman, and the inning is over. But a bloop single, a ground ball rocket up the middle, and another bloop single with an error tacked on for good measure. And we've got a run on the board here in the middle of the third. We'll be right back. Got an update for you on the scoring decision. It's going to be a clean single, so an earned run charge to Keenan Metrick in the top of the third inning. And UMass Boston looking to get that one back. Carlos Rodriguez climbs back on the hill. He's needed just 21 pitches to get through the first 2 frames, and he deals high and away here. A 1-0 pitch here. It's going to be a 2-0 count now to the number 7 hitter, R.J. Menert, who's getting a fresh count. He was up at bat to end the last inning when Craig Corliss got gunned down at third. Finally a strike to him there. Menert, combo outfielder, first baseman in the DH spot today. Oh, and a nice little 2-seamer there. 2-2 now to Menert. 1 hit through his first 7 trips. Rodriguez comes home and he underswings by a mile. First out of the third. Rodriguez humming along here. Almost through the order once. He's given up just 1 hit. He has fanned 3.
The first baseman, number 38, Jake Walt.
Jake Woltman now, the third baseman here in this Beacons lineup. Remember, this is 2 7-inning games here. The doubleheader, as originally scheduled tomorrow, was going to be 2 9-inning games, but people want to get home, eat, and go to sleep at some point, and so they're going to shrink these down until we've got 14 innings of baseball coming our way from Monin Park on a pretty crisp Friday evening. Thank you for tuning in, wherever you may be. Swing and a miss there, and they are having difficulty picking up the ball. The lights have come on at Monin Park here, but daylight's still supplying the bulk of the visibility right now. Ethan Herrera, the right fielder, on deck. Beacon's looking to get something started. So the last inning ended with Craig Corliss out at third on I can just say it, a rather bewildering attempted steal. 2-2 the pitch to Jake Woltman. Inside, shimmies his way out of it, and the count runs full. Wind's died down a little bit, and it's blowing more toward dead left than anything else. Expect it to be highly variable for next little while. We get some rain coming in here tomorrow. 3-2 pitch, fouled over our heads here in the press box, back of the plate. We'll do it again. Woltman, just his second at-bat this season. Retired once, walked once. Big first baseman out of California takes ball 4. And so while his first hit still eludes him, he will be more than content with his second walk of the season. And now it's Ethan Herrera. 0-4-2 rather, in his through the first couple games. He did pitch an inning in the opener. Gave up an unearned run and then fanned the side. Roaming right field today, and hacks that one back into the top of the screen. 0-1. Woltman on first has not tried a steal so far this season. It's a young season. Give him some time. 0-1 pitch comes home. Good side-to-side movement there, but it dove below the zone. 1-1. 1 on, 1 out, 1-0 in favor of the Hornets. 4 hits now to UMass's 1. Though in fairness to Keenan Metrick, a couple of those were fly ball bloop singles, fortunately placed to be sure. But the Hornets will take it against a team in UMass Boston that allowed only 1 run through their first 18 innings of play. Pickoff throw comes to first, and diving back to the bag is Woltman. 38 strikeouts through their first 2 games for the Beacons. Strikeout numbers that look at home in a table of conference statistics with teams who have played 3 times as many games as UMass has. Oh, and a good 2-seam movement there. Rodriguez is missing the bats more often than not. And after a couple of tough starts for him down in Florida, where he ceded 9 earned runs and 4 unearned runs on top of it, and a back pick at first here, and just diving back to the bag is Woltman. Rodriguez is humming along here. He sits down Herrera. That is his 4th strikeout of the day. Half of his putouts have come via the strikeout. And now it's Steve Brookwell at the top of the order with 2 outs and a runner on first. And now perhaps even more, you look to see if Woltman's going to go. Pitch dives inside, 1-0. Woltman, as you can see there, taking a pretty sizable lead. And staring him back to the bag is Rodriguez. Not holding the ball very long, comes to the plate, ground ball to the third baseman, and it gets through. Halting at second is Holtman, and the Beacons are in business with 2 outs in the third, 2 on, and one of their better hitters, Tom Q, stepping to the plate. Q retired his first time up. On the season, hitting .300. 3 hits and 10 trips. Couple of doubles and a triple under his belt so far. Hacks that one off the handle, and it's 0-1. It's a wonderful time of year to be back at the ballpark. As the shadows creep across the infield, we have more and more daylight as we go. Oh, and a high fly ball in the left center field, moving back on as a center fielder. It's over his head and off the bottom of the wall. 2 runs will score. Q is going for third. He is in without a throw, and UMass Boston that quickly retakes the lead. It's Thomas Q with a 2-run triple, cashing in Woltman and Brookwell. And the Beacons punch back in a big way. Q really got a hold of that one. And now it's Drew Metzdorf taking one on the outer edge for a strike, with a chance to cash Q in from third and double the lead. Q crowding the plate. 0-1 pitch. Line drive. Foul ball. By a matter of inches, the third run stays off the board. And Rodriguez has him down 0-2. Just a 2-umpire setup here at Monin Park today. One behind the plate and one roaming out in the middle of the infield. 0-2 pitch. Metzdorf. Ooh, almost went for a pitch, nowhere close. But just tamped down the urge. One-two pitch falls low in the dirt. Nice block there by Thornton. And the count runs even. Two and two. 2 out. Runner on third. 2-1 Beacons. The chance for a bonus run here. The pitch to Metzdorf. High fly ball. Deep left field. Back to the track. To the wall. It's off the screen. A ringing 2-out double from Drew Metzdorf. And the Beacons lead it 3-1. Metzdorf really hit that one on the screws. And now, Reese Tangy has some questions to ask of Rodriguez. Is he going to take the ball? It looks like they're just going to have a conference. Perhaps a tea party or an ice cream social out there. And figure out what they want to do about Craig Corliss. Has a hit in this game already. And take a look at what's allowed the Beacons to put these 3 runs on the board. The ground ball through the side that set the table here for Tom Q. Really got a hold of one here and hit it to the wall. With 2 outs, the runners going all the way. And Q, with a great deal of speed out of the third spot, had no trouble sliding in with another triple. But he didn't have to stay on third long. Drew Metzdorf, the Plymouth State transfer, UMass Amherst Minuteman at one point, hit one off the screen in deep left field. And now he's in scoring position as Aiden Blake steps to the plate. And one hooking around the junior shortstop's shoulders. And the count 1-0. Calls for time. Rodriguez, who is humming along by pretty much any measure you want to use. Striking batters out, mowing down hitters efficiently when he wasn't fanning them, is all of a sudden pitching for his life in this game. Have to imagine he gives up a hit here. He's not going to be hanging around for much longer. One-1 pitch. Metzdorf with a big lead off a second. and draws a look there. The Beacons have tried stealing third base with 2 outs earlier in this game. It was an inning ago. Didn't end well for them. That ball's outside. It may just be Metzdorf trying to get in Carlos Rodriguez's head a little bit, as if Aiden Blake, who came into this game with 4 hits in his first 7 ABs, wasn't enough to worry about. But he was fanned his first time up, and now with a runner in scoring position and a lead in need of padding, he hacks one off, 2-2. Oh, a nice barehanded catch there, Aiden. Sorry, going to scratch this here. Aiden Blake in the on-deck circle. This is Craig Corliss. My apologies, folks. This is going to be Corliss in the catcher's spot today. Runner on second, 2 out, 2-2 to Corliss. Runner goes for third, and Corliss hacks it foul. Just gets a piece to stay alive. Corliss had the first hit of the game for UMass Boston, then was caught stealing at third base to end the inning. And a testament to the offensive prowess of the Beacons in this inning that they've gotten around back to him this quickly. Another 2-2 pitch. Metzdorf stays put this time. Corliss with a ground ball right to the shortstop. Camden fires across the diamond, low but in time. And the inning is over. But the Beacons, with a flurry of offense and a pair of RBI extra base hits, put 3 runs on the board. And at the end of 3, they lead it 3-1.
UMass Boston is a special place that needs and it deserves a special leader.
My mother, she saw the dark clouds that were gathering in Argentina. She became convinced that it was very important for me to seek safety in the United States.
The young man who spoke only Spanish at the time found his way to a community college in California.
And I was blessed because I could transfer to the University of California, Berkeley. I really understood the extraordinary power of the public research university.
I am very proud to recommend Marcelo Flores Orozco be appointed Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Boston.
He's a person who's made it here through public education, so he becomes the personification of all that UMass can provide to our students.
Everyone's going to be excited about having him as our next chancellor.
I am grateful, I am humble, I am delighted. Muchas gracias.
The Beacon bats show up in the bottom of the third as they hang 3 runs on the Hornets. Hornets looking to get him back here. It's going to be the second baseman Wilson, the center fielder Mahoney, and the first baseman Frisha against Keenan Metrick, looking to get back on the horse after ceding his first run of the afternoon in the top of the third. Infield at normal depth, 1-0 pitch. No, says the home plate umpire. 2-0. Wilson retired his first time up. In fact, he was set down on strikes. One of 5 such Ks for Metrick on the afternoon. Line drive up the middle, clean base hit. And the 5th hit of the day for the Hornets sets the table in the top of the 4th.
The center fielder, number 16, John Mahoney.
And now it's John Mahoney. Walked his last time up and helped his team get in a position to score the run. Metrick's got a runner in his sight line now, comes home with a big frisbee hook that stays high and away. One 1-0 now. cat and mouse game coming off. The first pitch comes home and high, 2-0. Corliss trying to get his young pitcher back under control. So walk here, really risk setting the table. It was the bottom of the order that got things cooking in the top of the third inning and ultimately brought the run home as Perrin was the one who scored it. He's the number 9 hitter. 3-0 now. Metric having some command issues. You have to imagine John Mahoney's taken all the way here. Steps into the box unhurried. Wilson leads off a first, and generous low outside corner there prevents the walk. 3-1 now to Mahoney. Maybe looking to be a little bit more aggressive here. Metric comes home high. So the first 2 hitters reach in the top of the 4th inning. And the batter will be Stephen Frischa.
The first baseman, number 28,
Frischa,
Frischa.
6 foot 215 out of Smithtown, New York. 3 hits on the season coming into today. One of them an extra base hit. He's also struck out 5 times and walked 4 times. And he takes a first pitch strike. Encouraging sign for Metric and for the Beacons bench. Wilson leading from second. Mahoney over at first. Take a pair of modest leads. Metric double check second base and banks him back to the bag. Wanting to cut down on those leads here. Quick delivery and another strike. This one a swinging strike, and it's 0-2 to Stephen Frischa. There would be no more opportune a time for Metric's 6th strikeout of the game. So he was humming along in the early going. Things have become markedly more difficult for him the second time through the order. Wines, fires, chopped foul, and we'll do it again. Wind blowing out to right center now. Outfield shifted just a smidge toward the pull side on the right-handed Frischa. Infield at straightaway depth and straightaway and at double play depth. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Again, chopped back, and we'll do it again. Frischa refusing to go quietly. Oh, sir, you've got a souvenir. You're gonna give it back? I don't feel like it's going out on a limb here to say that if you get a ball at a baseball game and you give it back, you don't understand baseball, fans. It's yours, sir. Keep it. Swing and a miss, and down goes Frischa.
The left fielder, number 26, Parker Perrin.
6th strikeout of the game for Metric. And now a ground ball could end the inning. Or a hit could put Metric in some deep trouble with the top of the order coming up next. Ryder Thornton, the catcher/utility, standing in the on-deck circle. Metric can't locate the first pitch for a strike. UMass Boston 1 ground ball double play through their first 2 games. Which I suppose is impressive enough in itself, considering that they only had 54 outs to record, and 38 of them came on strikeouts. Not really letting yourself get too many double plays to begin with, but they snagged one. 1 on, 1 out, 1-1 the count. Metric comes home, swing and a miss, 1-2. Parker Perrin The back inside corner of the box. Metric comes home. That one stays high and away and sails outside. 2-2. Infield ready for the ground ball that'll get him out of it. Metric looking for his 7th strikeout. And instead he's going to stare. He's going to stare Dylan Wilson back to the bag. I do not like it when you stray too far, he says, and forces him to slide back on his stomach. He's got John Mahoney leading from first as well, and now comes home. There's the 7th strikeout, a big breaking ball ducking under the bat of Parker Perrin for the 2nd out of the inning. And Keenan Metric perhaps looking to strike out the side to get himself out of trouble for the 2nd time today. And he's not going to get the chance. They are going to the pen. Brendan Eigerbrodt has seen enough from his freshman pitcher. But a solid opening start here for Keenan Metric. The runners on first and second, his responsibility. You wonder now how much of it is about Metric versus how much of it is about the matchup. Does seem like they're bringing in a right-hander to face the right-handed hitting Thornton. That may have something to do with it as well. But Metric with 7 strikeouts in 3 2/3 innings through 83 pitches. Starting to get up there. See who the new pitcher might be. We can get a look at his jersey number. Going to be number 20. Looks like we are going to have. Yes, indeed it is. It's going to be Cole Porter. And yes, the one you're thinking of. No, I'm just playing around. Out to pitch here. Not sure yet whether this is a spot outing or whether they want him to go into the 5th inning as well. But he's inheriting a couple of runners, and this is going to be his first appearance on the season. Porter is a freshman, 5'11", 175 out of Rivervale, New Jersey. Listed on the team's roster as an infielder, not even as an infielder / pitcher. And getting his first college action on the mound here. So despite being listed as an infielder, here he comes in to pitch, because I suppose if you're Cole Porter, anything goes. And if any of you are groaning at home, just know that's the only one I know how to make. I promise I will step up my Cole Porter puns as the season goes on. But he's going to face Ryder Thornton here. Dylan Wilson on second, John Mahoney on first. For Thornton, this is his 3rd trip to the plate, retired both times. And a big chance here for the Hornets. Remember, this is a 7-inning game. They don't have as much time to make up a 2-run deficit as they would ordinarily have. Porter comes home inside. Oh, it's not. Generous inner half there from the home plate umpire, and it's 0-1. His first collegiate pitch comes over for a strike. Thornton looking for a big hit here to get his Hornets back into the mix. Oh, and that one's high and tight. Ball one. First and second, 2 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. UMass Boston leading it 3-1 over NVU-Lyndon. All the runs came in the third inning. That one diving low and away, ball 2. Second baseman playing way back out on the grass. Shortstop there to at least, in theory at least, to cut down the lead from Wilson. Outside on the fastball. Cole Porter running the risk here of loading up the bases on a walk. Remember, he inherited the 2 runners that you're seeing on the base paths right now. Comes home, just gets the call, 3-2. And now maybe the biggest pitch that's been thrown so far this evening. Beacons lead by 2. The tying run at first. The go-ahead run is at the plate here in the top of the 4th. 2 outs. 3-2 to Ryder Thornton. Runners go. Chopper to second base. Fielding it is Blake, throwing onto first, and that is the frame. We're halfway home here at Monin Park. Beacons lead it 3-1. Aiden Blake trots to the dish here to lead off the bottom of the 4th. It's going to be Blake, the shortstop, the shortstop, Johnny Zarilli, and RJ Menert, the designated hitter. And they're going to be coming up sooner rather than later. Oh no! The wind picked it up. And a routine flyout is going to turn into a 2-bagger for Blake. The sun's setting in the right fielder's eyes, but you would have, as it just cleared the horizon. Wind picked up and played with it a little bit, but I think it's just a miscue there from Roberge in right field. And now it's going to be Gianni Zarilli with a runner in scoring position. He shows bunt there. Did he pull it back in time? No, he did not. Strike one. Oh, and a balk. Great joy in the morning. A second balk. And a runner on third base now with nobody out. And a very exasperated pitcher on the mound right now who really hasn't done anything terrible to put him there. That one hacked off toward the Beacons dugout in the count 1-2. Excuse me, make that 1-1. Aiden Blake on what gets ruled a double just because you typically don't call it an error when the fielder just loses it. And then on a balk, he's reached third base despite not really doing a whole lot right. But sometimes in baseball, it's better to be lucky than good. And right now, he's looking to be a run. 1-2 pitch to Zerilli, chop back into the screen, and we'll do it again. Waiting on deck is the designated hitter, R.J. Menert. Infield playing a little bit pinched in here in case they have to make a throw home. Here comes the pitch. Hacked into the screen again. Sixth pitch of the at-bat coming here to Gianni Zerilli. Beacons looking to tack on their fourth run of the game. Here comes the pitch. 3 identical foul balls here for Zerilli. Hitting the same spot on the screen just about with each of the last 3 pitches. And now you have to wonder as well, with Keenan Metrick out of the game, how long Carlos Rodriguez is going to go. He has been much more efficient so far. Oh, and that's a mile-high pop-up toward third base. That one's going to stay up there till Easter. And eventually hauling it in is Bushy at third. Now strolling to the plate amid some rather ominous walk-up music is the designated hitter R.J. Menert. Struck out his first time and now with a chance to knock in a run from third with a productive out or a hit. Menert's the big guy, standing up there at 6'3", 235. He's got some muscle behind him as well, and he'll take that one nibbling at the outside corner for a strike. Aiden Blake leading from third. Comes the pitch inside, and that one gets away. Here comes Blake, and he'll score without a throw. 4-1 Beacons. As a fly ball lost in the sky, a balk, and a wild pitch combine for a Beacons run. How's that for action? And a bad swing there from Menard. He didn't seem too sure of himself there, and that's the second strike. Rodriguez winds, deals. Squirts through the wickets there of Thornton. 2-2 the count. Rodriguez gave up a few very hard hit balls there in the third inning. Has otherwise been pretty solid as Menard flies that one over the press box and back toward Morrissey Boulevard. Swings at a pitch in the dirt. He's going to try to make the catcher put him out the manual way, and he does. Thornton down to first. And now with 2 outs and the bases clear of Beacons, it's Jacob Woltman. Or Jake, rather. Walked and scored his first time up. Some rowdy walk-up music to his name here as he steps in against Rodriguez. And that one slipped out of the hand, it would seem. 1-0. Beacon's offense woke up in the third as they put 3 runs on the board. A lost fly ball, a balk, and a wild pitch put a bonus run on the board in the fourth. And still a chance for more here as the bottom of the order tries to squeeze out some more offense. Either way, it's going to be at least 3 runs of deficit for the Hornets to overcome, and only 3 more innings for them to do it. Pitch outside, 3-0 count now. And after the wild pitch in this, you do have to wonder about Rodriguez's control. That one right down the pipe, 3-1. 3-1, 2 out. Jake Holtman up there. And he will take his second walk of the game. You don't have to ask him more than once to stroll on down to first. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change here. We're going to step aside for the change here. 2 outs, runner on first, and a new face in the pitch here for the Hornets. Dale Osterman straddles the hill. And now that both of these pitchers, both of the starters, have been pulled from this one, we can take a look at where their stat lines wound up. Both of them had 3 2/3 innings. Rodriguez a little bit more efficient. Metric with a couple more strikeouts, 7-5 in that category. Both walked a pair, and both ceded 5 hits. But ultimately, the Beacons strung theirs together, got a couple of extra base knocks at the right times, and that's why the biggest difference in the stat lines here, between these two pitchers is 4 earned runs given up by Carlos Rodriguez, just 1 by Keenan Metrick. Looks like we've also, seems like there is a pinch runner out there on first base. It's Mariano Jimenez. The outfielder still has not taken an at-bat this season, but he is coming into the game and replace Jake Woltman, who started at first base in this one and is drawing multiple throws here. Dale Osterman, the pitcher. Also an infielder on occasion. He's pitched 5 1/3 innings so far this season as he deals ball 2. 1.69 ERA. He's really been the only reliable member of the staff. 1 start, 1 relief appearance. This would be relief appearance number 2. 9 strikeouts against 0 walks. That pitch is in the dirt. Jimenez stumbles on his way to second and still makes it standing up. How do you like that? You're brought in as a pinch runner. You fall on your face. Not metaphorically, literally. And you still make it to second with plenty of time to spare. 3-0 now, and that's going to make it a walk. They're going to give him a pass down to second. That's Ethan Herrera going on down there, and now they're setting the table for Steve Brookwell. So a walk, advancing on a, let's call it a flop, getting to 3-0 on the next hitter and then letting him have first base. And now it's Steve Brookwell. And Osterman with a big hook in there to land it for a first pitch strike. The Hornets are already going to have enough trouble trying to dig their way out of a 3-run hole. And now at the top of the order coming up, it's a chance for more as Brookwell hacks that one off. And he's down 0-2. Brookwell had a base hit last time up and scored a run. Jimenez leading from second. Herrera from first. Brookwell fouls that one off and will do the 0-2 pitch again. Two on, 2 out, 1 in, 0-2 now. Dale Osterman fires in. Brookwell chops it foul over by the Hornets dugout. The sun dropping and with it the temperature. Wind has stayed about constant. Here comes another 0-2 pitch from Osterman to Brookwell. Back pick attempt at first, and a better throw would have gotten him. There goes Jimenez for third. He got to second with a flop. He got to third with heads-up base running and some afterburners. And now we've got runners at the corners with 2 out. A little bit of a more favorable count for Brookwell now. Takes low. That pitch gets away. Down to second base goes Herrera. The Beacon base running adventures continue here. Another wild pitch for the Hornets. And now there's 2 runners in scoring position. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 to Steve Brookwell. And a chance for some major damage here if he can find the outfield grass. That one's low, it squirts away, and Jimenez just did get warned back to third. The runner on second, Herrera, maybe thought he was going to go and got about halfway to third base before scampering back. Two runners in scoring position here, 2 outs, 3-2 pitch to Steve Brookwell. Inside, no! He rung him up, nibbled at the corner, and the inning is over. And so the Beacons get a run, but strand a pair, and at the end of 4, they lead it 4-1. We'll be right back. You're watching UMass Boston Baseball on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
My mother, she saw the dark clouds that were gathering in Argentina. She became convinced that it was very important for me to seek safety in the United States.
The young man who spoke only Spanish at the time found his way to a community college in California.
And I was blessed because I could transfer to the University of California, Berkeley. I really understood the extraordinary power of the public research university.
I am very proud to recommend Marcelo Suarez Orozco be appointed Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Boston.
He's a person who's made it here through public education, so he becomes the personification of all that UMass can provide to our students.
It's great to have a world-class chancellor in a world-class city.
It takes a real leader to go after a giant, and that's what Marty Meehan did here.
Everyone's going to be excited about having him as our next chancellor.
Welcome back to Monon Park. I'm going to give you a play-by-play of that last inning because I need you to bear witness with me that it happened. To lead it off, Woltman wound up walking. We got a fly ball here out in a right center field, coming over, ranging over to make the catch is Herrera for the first out. But here we go. Double from Aiden Blake that was really just a fly ball that the right fielder lost. He advanced to third on a balk. Foul out. Blake scores on a wild pitch. Menert strikes out. Woltman walks before the pitcher change. Jimenez pinch runs, advanced to second on a wild pitch in which he turns the base path into his own personal slip and slide. Herrera walks. On a pickoff attempt, Jimenez steals third. On a wild pitch, Herrera takes second before Brookwell strikes out to strand them both. So welcome to the wild and wacky wonders of UMass Boston baseball. We're in the top of the 5th now, and UMass still clings to a 3-run lead. It's going to be Skylar Bushy to lead it off right here. Held up. It's a 1-1 pitch. Jordan Kane to follow. Tyler Roberge after him. Nick Palma is going to take the place of Jimenez, who pinch ran for the first baseman, Jake Woltman. High, very high fly ball into shallow, now medium left center, and recovering to make the catch is Brookwell. Not sure if it's the visibility or the wind or both, but they are having a hard time picking up these fly balls, and Brookwell with a brilliant adjustment to avoid a quote-unquote double. Kane slaps that one foul. One hopping to the parking structure along the right field line, 0-1. He's got Tyler Roberge to follow. Oh, and 1 pitch. Still Cole Porter on. Oh, and that one's over the head of Kane, who shows his limbo skills off and ducks the pitch. Cole Porter still out there for the Beacons. Now retired 3 batters and gets a strike on a low one there, 1-2. Fourth batter Porter has faced in his first pitching appearance of the season. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and he pulls it. 2-2. if you're watching this one and you'd like to watch the next game of the doubleheader, it's going to be a different link on the same website. We'll give you a reminder right when we sign off. Kane chops that one foul to keep it 2-2. Thank you very much for tuning in here. Milton Posner on the call, bringing you UMass Boston baseball. It's the third game of the season for the Beacons. After they, I believe the technical term is eviscerated their first two opponents, Framingham State by a 10-1 score. High and tight, count runs full. And then LaSalle yesterday by an 8-0 margin. 21 strikeouts in the first game. That's a program record. Alex Amalfi, Dylan Ryan with 9 apiece. 17 strikeouts in yesterday's game. Tim Cianciolo. And there's one that'll make him proud. Kane goes down swinging, and the first strikeout of the game for Cole Porter as he retires the side in order. We're going to take a quick break. Middle of the 5th inning. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching UMass Boston baseball on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Much like in billiards, we're starting with a cue here as he runs up to bunt, and that's going to be strike one. No, it's not. Interesting decision from the umpire down at first base there, saying that Q pulled his bat back in time, or at least didn't offer at it. 1-0 now. Dale Osterman's still out there, and he gets Tom Q way out in front of a breaking ball there. 1-1. Beacon's looking for insurance right now. The pitchers have settled back in nicely. Cole Porter retiring the last 4 that he has faced, and the Beacons 1-2. Looking for more, if for no other reason than that they have fared very well on the offensive side of the ball here. 18 runs through their first 2 games. As Q chops that one back, got a piece of it off the end of the bat. Stays 1-2. Q starting in left field today. One of the 4 captains on this Beacons squad. Chops another one foul, and we'll do it again. 5 pitches in, number 6 coming up from number 6, Dale Osterman. 1.69 ERA. One of the few pitchers who has remained largely unscathed through those games in Florida here for the NVU-Lyndon Hornets. But he fires low and away as that one bounces into the catcher, Thornton. 2-2. 2-3-4 hitters up in this inning for the Beacons. Oh, and a check swing there to stay alive. Clever from Q. And here comes pitch number 8. Sails high and tight. And the count runs full. So Tom Q making Osterman work. Wines deals. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. Line drive, diving, catch. What a play by Bushy at third. Took a minute for the signal. Weren't sure if it had trapped it in his glove or caught it on the fly, but he just got the leather underneath the ball there. That is a tricky grab, especially at this time of night. One down. That ball looked like a knuckleball gone awry. Not quite sure what that was. Looks like Osterman didn't have the best grip on it. 1-0. Oh, and he gets... No, he doesn't get back on the horse. That's a interesting ball call, to say the least. 2-0. So the first one, nowhere close, it's a ball. Second one, looked like it was over. And that one he'll get the call for. 2-1. Batter Drew Metzdorf. UMass Amherst transfer by way of 2 years at conference rival Plymouth State. Takes that one low, and he's got the count working in his favor now, 3-1. Stellar couple of years there. One of the best hitters in the LEC. Cracks that one down the line, it'll drift foul. Skittering down the line into the corner. 3-2. So a couple of extended at-bats here. The Beacons really making Dale Osterman inflate his pitch count here. Oh, what a hook. Big time pitch from Osterman, and he sits down Metzdorf with it. Big looper from the batter's box to the inside half, and the second out of the inning for Osterman. Now he's got to contend with Craig Corliss. 1 of 2 in this one, but with a caught stealing that torpedoed the momentum in the second inning, and takes ball 1. One-0 pitch. Osterman floats that one over, but not right on the vertical axis, and the count is 2-0. Beacons content to be patient, not feeling too much pressure at this point. They're playing for bonus runs or insurance. And Corliss with a big daddy hack there, way out in front of it, and the count 2-1. Infield playing him at normal depth. Outfield is too. Here comes the pitch. There's a jack. Down the line in left field, coming over towards the line. That one will land just foul. By about a foot or two, Craig Corliss misses a double. And the count will be 2-2. He barreled that one up, but just a tad out in front. It's a narrow left field wall down there. It's just 310 feet from the plate, but with that Fenway Park style dimension, they've got that wall out there in left field. I want to estimate about 20 feet high. It's going to keep the balls in the park. We saw it do it earlier for, I believe, Metzdorf. Corliss, did he hold up? No, he did not. To the indignation of Blake in the on-deck circle, Corliss goes down. And so an eventful bottom of the 5th, and yet no base runners. 5 hits apiece for both these squads, but a 4-run lead for the Beacons side after 5. 2 more innings in the books, or 2 more innings to go, rather, for the Hornets to make up the deficit. We'll be right back from Monin Park.
I think it's a new era at UMass Boston where only good things can happen.
It's great to have a world-class chancellor in a world-class city.
He can bring people together.
He is a world-class academic leader and is one of the pioneers of the field of immigration studies. I felt that this was the grand mission that was kind of the culmination of his research, his leadership. He sees what he can do at UMass is really leaving a mark for generations of students to come.
I am very proud to recommend Marcelo Torres Orozco be appointed Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Boston.
I think that the responsibility of the Chancellor is to tell and retell the story of the fundamental contributions a public research university make and will continue to make moving forward in this unique city, the city of education, the city of immigration, our Athens.
I believe that Marcelo is the right person at the right time.
Everyone's going to be excited about having him as our next chancellor.
Craig Corliss goes down, and yeah, a little bit too much here. As you can get a look at how far the bat is out in front of the plate. There is no standard consistent measure for where this thing, for how this rule gets legislated. It's simply that a swing is an attempt to strike at the ball. Some umpires use the front of their plate, the breaking of the wrist, or some combination of the two as shorthand. But it's ultimately a subjective judgment call there. Thank you very much to our replay operator for that one. Some zealous pinpointing of the swing. Top of the sixth now. And still it's going to be Cole Porter atop the hill for the Beacons in extended relief. He fires inside with some zip on it. 1-0 the count. Hitter now is Tyler Roberge. If you can't tell how much I enjoy saying his last name. He's hitless in 2 trips, struck out in 1 of them. And he's ahead of Cole Porter right now, 2-0. Ball 3. And so Porter, after logging his first strikeout in the last frame and mowing through the 3 batters he faced, goes 3-0 on the leadoff hitter, the number 5 man, and just nibbles at the lower edge to keep Roberge off of first base. 6 defensive outs for the Hornets to play with, and 3 runs they need to get on the board. Swing and a miss, and the count runs full. Three-two pitch. Rung him up on the inside corner, and Porter with his second strikeout. The command comes back, and just in time, too, as Dylan Wilson strolls to the dish. A look at the stat line on Porter right now. Oh, and a big swing and a miss there for Wilson. He's trying to hit that ball into downtown Boston, and it's 0-1. Porter, through 1 2/3 innings and just 22 pitches thrown, has struck out 2 and has not allowed a man on base. On another strike there, and he's really getting after him now. After the 3 balls that he threw to the leadoff hitter, he has thrown 5 consecutive strikes and ball 1. One and 2 the count now. Wilson, 1 of 2 so far today. Winds, deals, swing and chops that one to short. Charging it is Zorilli, scooping it, throwing, and a great play by Zorilli to get him. Smooth as silk from the shortstop position, and that's the second out of the inning. And now the batter will be John Mahoney. The center fielder stepping to the plate. Has reached on a walk both times. Batting average holding steady at .269. Porter winds and fires and drops that one in for a strike. Nice movement there from the outer half to the middle. Oh, 1 pitch. That one tails a little low. Corliss hauls it in, and that's ball 1. 1-1 the count. Porter not wasting a whole lot of time here. Fires it in. Chopped off, 1-2. Still early in the season. Coach Eigebrodt trying to see which arms he can count on out of the bullpen, and Cole Porter so far is making as good a case as any that he can be one of the stud arms. Listed as an infielder. You wouldn't know it from watching him. 2 outs now. 1-2 pitch to John Mahoney. Slapped foul down the line, and we'll do it again. Infield giving him a little bit of room here and offering the middle to protect the sides. Another 1-2 pitch. Big hooky. Ooh, he was walking off the mound. He thought he was going to get that one. The umpire does not oblige him, and the count runs even. 2-2 now. Mahoney's worked a walk each time he's been up to the plate today. And he's 1 ball away from doing it this time. The afternoon doubleheader turns into a night game. And a 3-2 pitch here. 3rd walk of the day for John Mahoney. Has as many walks as the Beacons put together. And for that matter is the only player on his team to have drawn a walk. And now with 2 outs, the batter will be Stephen Frische. Might something be cooking for the Hornets here in the top of the 6th inning? It's going to have to be the bottom of the order to get it done against a pitcher who just seated his first base runner and still has not allowed a hit. Oh, a big strike there, pouring in some gas on the upper outside corner. 0-1. Mahoney leads from first, an 0-1 pitch from Porter, and a big swing there. No dice, though. And Porter on the verge of getting out of the inning and stranding the runner. He's retired 6 batters so far in his first collegiate relief appearance. 0-2 pitch. Dips low. 1-2. One and two now. Runner goes. Pitch is popped foul. Will it stay in play? Giving chases Palma, and it sails over the fence. We'll do it again. For Frische, still looking for his first hit today. And for that matter, his second on the season. He has got, my apologies, his 4th on the season. Misread the stats. He has struck out both trips to the plate today. Porter looks in. 1-2 pitch. Hacked back into the screen. We'll do it again. Hitters are proving a little bit more resilient here. Trying to figure out Porter as they go through the order. And 33 pitches for the freshman righty. This is the 7th batter he's faced. Make that 8th. 1-2 pitch outside. Great stop by Corliss to keep the runner at first. Mahoney's been looking to advance on him. And Corliss shut the door. Counts even now. 2-2. 2 outs. Runner on first. Porter winds, deals. Line drive right at the shortstop on a hard hit 3rd out. will send us to the break. 5.5 innings out of 7 in the books, and a 4-1 Beacons lead has withstood the Hornet onslaught. Back in a moment. Another look at that last out here. Hits the ball on the screws, and it could not have been placed any worse. Gianni Zorilli snags it for the 3rd out. And now 3 outs left to play with to deal with a 3-run deficit, or maybe more. They've got to go through the 5, 6, and 7 spots in the order here. Dale Osterman stays in and pulls the first pitch in the dirt. It skips to the backstop. He's got to contend with Aiden Blake, then Gianni Zorilli, and R.J. Menert. And should anyone reach, it'll be the first baseman, Nick Palma. Osterman winds, fires, grounded foul there. Count evens up. Blake, a player that his head coach Brendan Eigebrot said had took great strides in the offseason, has a lot of hope for him. Through 2 games, he had already hit for a combined cycle, I suppose you'd call it. Getting hopefully his first real full season, his first season where COVID hopefully does not play too big a factor. The ball hooked in for a 2nd strike, 1-2. Top of the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th inning. Line drive back through the box, and Blake has his 2nd hit of the day. And a chance for the Beacons percolating here. Zorilli steps to the plate. He and the hitter after him, Menert, are a combined 0 of 4 with 3 strikeouts and a chance to reverse their fortunes here.
The shortstop, number 3, Gianni Zorilli Jr.
Zorilli coming into this one 4 of 9 with a home run yesterday. Takes a big swing like he's trying to hit a 2nd and comes up empty, 0-1. Batting average by this point has dropped about 80 points from there. Still the beginning of the season, when you can very casually have a 1600 OPS and have nobody think too much of it. Second pitch comes in, that's a ball. It's going to even up the count, 1-1. Fires in, high fly ball into center field, but playable. Coming up to, oh no, he misjudged it. Ball falls in front of the center fielder Mahoney, and it's going to be 2nd and 3rd with nobody out for the Beacons. The fly balls have proven extraordinarily difficult for some of these outfielders. Part of it's the light, part of it's the wind, part of it is just maybe not picking it up and playing it the way they'd like to be. But it was certainly a very makeable catch there. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter now. It's going to be number 12, Luke Levitt, sophomore outfielder out of Manchester by the Sea.
Attention, please. Pitching for Nick Palma, number 12, Luke Levitt.
No official at-bats or anything that was counted as one, but he does have an RBI so far. And he's in a spot where he could pick up one or two more. Slow hook fades over the plate for a first pitch strike. So the last pitch scored as a double. Oh and 1. Pop fly, shallow center. That one's going to drop. Another run for the Beacons. Luke Levitt with an RBI single as Aiden Blake trots home, and it's a 4-run lead for UMass Boston. As much as we're making, and rightly so, of the very catchable fly balls that are dropped, that come down maybe 3 feet from somebody because they misplayed it initially, it'll also have an insidious effect on some of the less obvious ones, where you just don't get the jump that you as an outfielder would normally get during the daytime or during more favorable conditions in general. But it's Nick Palma right here. His third at-bat of the season. 0-1. Pitch comes outside. And for Palma to be here at all, it was not a foregone conclusion. He had to unenroll last semester from UMass Boston as he underwent chemotherapy, Hodgkin's lymphoma diagnosis, but has battled his way back, used baseball as a motivator, motivated his team in the process. Coach Eigebrot saying he's returned to the team. He played well in the preseason scrimmages. He has a good chance to start at some point. The physical, mental, spiritual toll of working his way back, but he's made it. Swing and a miss here. Throw down to second. Not in time. And trotting home is the runner from third, Zerilli, and the Beacons with another run on the board. They lead it 6-1. Levitt swipes second. Zerilli uses the cover to scamper home. The old first and third draw the throw play. Hornets fell for it. And now Palma, fly ball, medium deep center field. Catch is made. Tagging and scampering to third easily is Levitt. Oh, and the throw gets away. He's going to run for home. The third run of the inning for UMass Boston, and they have blown this one open. It's a 7-1 game in the bottom of the 6th. Base runners gone wild here. And this is the electric brand of baseball that Eigebrot wants them to play. He knows they've got the speed. They've got a little bit more power this season now that they've hit the weight room. And they want to put pressure on you with that speed. You can see what it's doing so far. Ethan Herrera steps up to the plate. Still seeking his first hit of the season. Oh, and he's got it. Does he ever? Ethan Herrera with a monster bomb into left field. And the Beacons are pouring it on in the bottom of the 6th. Just when you thought it was a small ball dash around the bases sort of inning, Ethan Herrera puts a monster charge into one. And a drive over the high wall in left center field puts the 8th Beacons run of the game and the 4th of the inning onto the board. Now it's back to the top of the order, and Brookwell pulls back the bunt but takes strike one. Another Beacons homer, 4th of the season. Oh, and there's Brookwell to deep left center field. That ball is off the very top of the wall, and so by a matter of maybe 2 feet, Brookwell misses the back-to-back, but he'll settle for another big double, his second hit of the game. And UMass Boston, the Barrels finding the ball with ease here in the bottom of the 6th. They're making the call to the bullpen here. I'm going to try to take a look at who's stepping to the dish here, or stepping to the hill, excuse me. It's going to be number 21 coming in here. That's 27, rather. It's going to be Will Perkins out of Holtwood, Pennsylvania. His 4th appearance of the season. We're going to take a look at the replays here. This onslaught for UMass Boston. It's Ethan Herrera with a no-doubt shot over the left field wall and goes into the trot as he rounds first base. First home run of the day for either squad. And it came off the bat of the number 9 hitter. And coming right after that was Steve Brookwell. Almost followed him up with one. And it just came, yeah, maybe 2-3 feet from hitting the top and heading on out of here. So Brookwell is going to be on second base as Perkins inherits the runner. He's got a win to his name already. 3 relief appearances totaling 7 1/3 innings. ERA of about 3 2/3. Couple of walks to his name, but 9 strikeouts. Has been the second best option out of the pen here. Interesting that they're going to him now. Because, quite frankly, I mean, just facing the facts here, the Hornets need 7 runs in the top of the 7th inning to extend this game. Interesting that they're using a pitcher, one of their better relief pitchers now, and not in the second half of the doubleheader. But stepping to the plate now will be Tom Q for the Beacons, 1 of 3, with a 2-run triple earlier in this one. He will step in now, face the new pitcher, with a runner in scoring position and only 1 out.
The left fielder, number 10, Thomas Q.
Drew Metzdorf, the third baseman, waiting on deck. Hit .317 last year with 11 runs batted in across 19 games. Swiped half a dozen bases as well. He's got wonderful speed out of the number 3 spot. Apologies, hitting out of the number 2 spot today. Brookwell takes his lead. Perkins fires his pitch, and a chopper topped off and foul, trickling over by the Hornet dugout. Which, if they don't call the Hornet's nest, they should. 1-1, 1 on, 1 out. 1 run for Northern Vermont University, seeming to wilt in the face of UMass Boston's 8. They're working on a 4 spot here in the bottom of the 6th, with a chance to add on some more. Steve Brookwell with a big secondary lead there. Beacons have shown today that they're not afraid to swipe third, and this would be a more opportune time to do it, situationally speaking. 2-1 the pitch now. Perkins back at second. Double take, comes home. Tipped off foul, and the count runs even. For Tom Q, one of 4 team captains here. You got 3 on the hitter side, 5 team captains rather, 3 on the hitter side. It's Q, Nico Kides, and Henry Score. And then 2 on the pitcher side, Dylan Fashionpour and Tim Cienciolo. Oh, that one's rocketed into left field, but moving back on it and catching it on the track is Perrin for a loud second out. Beacons are really putting a charge into some of these pitches. And Drew Metzdorf steps to the dish now.
The third baseman, number 4, Drew Metzdorf.
1 of 6 coming into today. Got 1 of 3 so far with an RBI. Also been fanned once. Perkins, that glove, little deceptive hitch in his motion there. You can see him, he's got his left elbow, it appears to be above his shoulder for a big stretch of his delivery here. And take a look at it. He rocks way, way back toward his shoulder and then comes home. Ground ball, that'll make it through. Base hit Metzdorf. Brookwell comes around third. Throw to the plate is not in time. It's a 5-run 6th inning for the Beacons, and they lead it 9-1. Timely hit after timely hit to run up the score here in the penultimate inning of play. And now with 2 outs and another runner in scorer's position, Metzdorf having taken second on the throw home, it's going to be Craig Corliss. 1 of 3 so far. Base hit in his first appearance. Perkins with another double take, and this time he steps off and looks the runner back to second. UMass Boston with a 10-1 win, an 8-0 win, and now a 9-1 lead in their 3rd game of the year. There goes the runner. Throw down to third. Not in time. It trickles into left field. Scampering home is Metzdorf with a 10th Beacons run of the night. And if the route was on before, it is really on now. Stolen base for Metzdorf. And then the catcher's throw sails down the right field line, allowing him to come home. 10 runs on 11 hits for the Beacons. That'll be the 2nd error of the day for the Hornets. Corliss pops that one foul behind the press box. 3 runs in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, now 6 in the 6th. And it's just been a tough inning here for multiple Hornets pitchers. Line drive cracked in the left field. Base hit for Corliss, his 2nd of the day. And the Beacons are not done. And now for the 2nd time in the inning, Aiden Blake steps to the plate. Beacons have hit around. There's a high fly ball in a deep center field here, going back on it to the track, to the wall. It's off the top of the wall. Coming all the way around is Corliss. To third with a sliding triple is Aiden Blake. It's his 2nd hit of the inning, and the Beacons have scored 7 in the 6th. They lead it 11-1. Aiden Blake comes maybe 6 inches from hitting that one out to dead center, and instead will settle for the Beacons' 3rd triple of the day. Excuse me, make that the 2nd triple of the day. And Gianni Zorilli with a double earlier in this inning. That's a ball low, 1-0. Zorilli, like we said, doubled and scored on what technically was scored as a steal of home, but was in actuality a double steal. Orchestrated by the Beacons, Levitt swiping second base, drawing the throws, Zorilli scampering home. And now he's got a chance to knock in the Beacons' 8th run of the inning, with his teammate Blake leading off from third. Nice stop there from Thornton to keep Blake there. And the count 3-0. Beacons started a little bit slow. Hornets even took the lead at one point. But the Beacons have come roaring back with a 7 spot in the 6th. And they may not be done. 13 hits marshaled into 11 runs. In a game that has increasingly gotten away from Northern Vermont University. There's a line drive down the left field line, hooking foul. And that'll bring the count full. Aiden Blake standing on third. He's got 2 hits in the inning, a single and a triple. Zerilli already has an extra base hit in the frame and is looking for his first RBI of the evening. 3-2 pitch. Perkins comes home high and away, ball 4. And the 12th Beacons hitter of the inning comes to the plate. It's Luke Levitt. Levitt singled to left center field, drove in Blake. And now with an opportunity to do it again. The longer this goes on, the more ridiculous all the statistical permutations get. Perkins comes home high and nibbles the outside corner for a strike. Runners at the corners now. 0-1 pitch. Just outside. Thornton corralling it there in the dirt. 1-1. Aiden Blake after the triple, leading from third. Gianni Zerilli after the walk, traipsing off of first. 1-1 pitch to Luke Levitt. Nice stop there by Thornton, sliding in back of the batter's box. Call for time here. Aiden Blake, with every throw back to the pitcher, is taking a couple of quick steps off of third base. Trying to see if they're going to drop the ball, any kind of miscue he can use to dash home. I suppose the thing that stands out about it is they've already scored 7 in the inning. And they had a healthy lead coming in. Still attentive, though. 2-1 pitch. Inside, that one gets away. Thornton scampers to get it. He holds Blake at third, but Zerilli moves into scoring position. Another wild pitch for the Hornets. Here comes a 3-1. High and ball 4. So all 3 of the players on base here, that's Blake at third, Zerilli at second, and now Levitt at first, have reached twice in the inning. The 13th UMass Boston hitter will stroll to the plate. It's Nick Palma. And he's going to do it, it looks like, against a new pitcher. So the completed stat line for Will Perkins, a third of an inning. 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He's responsible for all 3 of the men out there. 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 earned runs, and a possibility for up to 3 more. The next pitcher is going to be number 5, Adam English. His 5th appearance on the season. He's got 5 1/3 innings to his name and an ERA coming in just under 12. 7 earned runs given up and an unearned run on top of it. 1 home run. He's fanned 5 and walked 1. Just a reminder for those of you who want to stick around for our second game, which I highly encourage you do. There is going to be a brief break. It's going to be a brief break in between the 2 games. You can find, as you can take a look here at the replay of the last RBI hit. You can find that link on the same website you're watching on now. It will be a different window. This broadcast will end and the other one will commence there. You get a look at the wild throw down to third base that allowed for yet another run.
Attention, please. Now pitching for the Northern Vermont University-Lyndon Hornets, number 5, Adam English.
The onslaught for UMass Boston just keeps on going here. 7 runs, and now with the bases loaded with 2 out, just how much of this has come with 2 out, you have to ask yourself. It has been, I want to double check this here and make sure I have got this right. Here's how the inning's gone. Aiden Blake single, Gianni Zerilli double, Luke Levitt single, double steal, Nick Palma, the man you're about to see hit again, flew out. Levitt advances to third and scores on a throwing error. Herrera homers. Brookwell doubles off the top of the wall. Q flies out. There's your second out. Since that second out, Metzdorf single, steal of third, scores on an error. Corliss single, Blake RBI triple, Zorilli walk, advances on a wild pitch, Levitt walks. 7 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors so far, just in the bottom of the 6th for UMass Boston. They may not be done. Here's Nick Palma. Bases loaded, 2 outs against the new pitcher, Adam English, going lefty on lefty. And beans him. An RBI hit by pitch, and the 8th run of the inning trots home for UMass Boston. A little bit of a dramatic undercut there from the first pitch from Adam English. And now it's going to be Ethan Herrera, who homered already in this inning. The 15th UMass Boston hitter of the inning. And he takes a pitch in for a strike. Blake's hit twice, Zorilli's hit twice. Levitt has hit twice. Palma's hit twice, excuse me. This makes Herrera steps to the plate, the 14th UMass Boston hitter of the inning. 8 runs in, bases loaded, 2 out. Adam English hits in a run, I suppose is the way to say it. That run is charged to the previous pitcher, Will Perkins. Now 3 earned runs to his name over just a third of an inning pitched. 1 man retired. Herrera with a home run in this inning already. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Hook outside. Thornton snags it and wants to go talk to his pitcher, who has thrown just 1 strike in his 4 offerings thus far. It's an 8th spot in the 6th, 12-1 for the game. UMass Boston's run and hit counter still moving more or less in lockstep as they continue to cash their hitters in. Leaning in, getting the sign is English. 2-1 pitch. Low, ball 3. And with nowhere to put him, English has got to find the plate here, lest the inning continue. Here's the 3-1. Ball 4. The 9th run can stroll home. 2nd RBI of the inning on 2 different trips for Ethan Herrera. And stepping to the plate now, looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Kevin Carrera, the sophomore, fresh off the bench. Just his 2nd plate appearance of the year. He walked in his only other appearance. He's going to pinch hit for Brookwell, the center fielder. Here's the pitch. Inside, trickles away from the catcher, but not far enough. Ball 1. Just 1 strike thrown by English here. 6 pitches, 5 of them balls. 1 of them was a hit by pitch. Pop fly, left center field. Will it drop? Yes, it will. Another hit for UMass Boston. This one plates 2, and it's a 2-run double fresh off the bench for Kevin Carrera. The scoreboard out there in left center field is confused. You see, it doesn't have space to show a double-digit number in the runs column for a particular inning. It looks like they have scored 1 run. They have, in reality, scored 11. 15-1 UMass Boston. We've got another pinch hitter here. Coming in for Q, it's going to be Chris Duco. For Duco, he is 0 for 1, but has 2 walks on the season and has scored a run. Cracks a line drive foul, and it's 0-2. First hitter in a while that has fallen behind in the count. He's also the first hitter in a little bit who hasn't had the bases loaded, but never fear, he's still got 2 runners in scoring position. He's batting in the number 2 spot right now, meaning he is the 16th UMass Boston hitter of the inning, and he will be the last one. A Goliath of an inning for UMass Boston, 11 runs on the board. They lead it 15-1 after 6 innings, and they just need 3 outs to seal their 3rd straight win to open the season. We'll be right back. We got some defensive subs in here for UMass Boston to start the top of the 7th. It's Mike Meager behind the plate in Craig Corliss' stead. Chris Duco and Kevin Carrera in left and center field, respectively. Remember, Nick Palma already slid in at first of what used to be Waltman's spot. And DJ Lopes on the mound here for UMass Boston, trying to close out a game in what literally almost could not be further from a save situation. First pitch comes in, that's a ball. Lopes' first appearance of the season. He's a senior at a North Dartmouth, Massachusetts. I need to say that in front of a mirror when I get home, never fear. Last season, 8 1/3 innings pitched with an earned run average of 3.24 and a whip of about 1.5. One and one right now. This is to the pinch hitter, taking a big swing and a miss right now. It's Matt Doherty, 3 of 9 on the season. Coming to the plate next will be another pinch hitter. It looks like, double check I have this, looks like Parker. No, we will double check on who the next pinch hitter is. Oh, it looks like Sean Cavanaugh. Thank you very much to Gene on Graphics for helping me out with that one. Pop fly in a right field, giving way and eventually making the grab in right field. There is Herrera. His 3 fielders converged on it. And with 1 out, the batter is Sean Cavanaugh. Sean Cavanaugh strolls to the dish here.
Please, now batting for Ryder Thornton. 25. Sean Cavanaugh.
2 more outs available to the Hornets. And all they got to do is score, let's see, 14 runs to even up the score in this one. UMass Boston's going to have stats that are inflated to a degree you only find in moon bounces. If you thought the plus 17 run differential through their first couple of games wasn't enough, they've almost equaled it just in this third game. DJ Lopes now, 1 out, 1-1 pitch. Big lefty comes home. It's a high pop fly down the line. Will he have enough room? No, he doesn't. Palmer can only watch it sail over the fence, 1-2. Lopes, a big guy standing out there. 6'3" and 235 out of North Dartmouth, Massachusetts. There we go. Got it that time. Remember, we got the second half of the doubleheader coming up about 15 or 20 minutes after this one ends. You can find the link on the same website you're on now, but it will be a different link. That one topped off to short, bobbled briefly there by Zorilli, but recovers in plenty of time to throw him out. And the Hornets are down to their last out. We got another pinch hitter coming up. It's Luis Rivera Pillow.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for Camden, number 19, Luis Rivera Low. Said it. I was waiting.
That one comes in low. It's a ball and no strikes.
Do you see? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know this. No, I was like, I don't care, but I only questioned to him.
One comes in outside, 2-0 now. For the first 5.5 innings, this one looked like a normal baseball game. And it very quickly got out of hand and kept getting more and more out of hand as the bottom of the 6th inning went on. 3-0 now. And a walk. 4 pitches, and strolling to first base there is Rivera. Strolling up now. They've been going through the pinch hitters, but they're going to let Skylar Bushy hit for himself.
The third baseman, number 4, Skylar Bushy.
Pitch comes in low, ball 1 to Bushy. A lot of life there in the bottom of the 6th inning. There goes the runner. Pitch is cracked into right field. That'll land for a clean single. Easily going first to third is Cav. Oh, that's a missile. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and he just got in. Oh, my goodness. What a throw from Herrera in right field. It looked like it looked like Rivera had that base easily. And in the end, it was close. My goodness. That ball teleported from mid-right field to third base. Jordan Kane now is going to step up to try to extend the game. Chops that one foul behind the plate. Some excitement in the in the 7th inning, at a point where we thought UMass Boston was going to maybe put it in neutral and coast to a 14-run win. Kane checks his swing. Indeed he does. I'm going to give you a second look at that throw from Herrera once we have it. Because my goodness, that was an amazing throw from the right fielder. Hit the game's lone home run. Almost hard to believe that you've got only one home run. Stay tuned after this at-bat ends. We want to show you that throw in case you weren't looking. And even if you were. One-two pitch from DJ Lopes to Jordan Kane. Low. Count is even now. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 count. 15-1 the score. And Kane, who's had one of the most productive games of any of the Hornets, trying to extend the inning. And a fly ball down the right field line. This one's hooking. Fair ball. Oh, he says foul. Oh, I don't know about that one. That one looked like it was inside the line. Where we are, that thing looked like it had maybe about an inch of clearance to the fair side of the line. The umpire disagrees. Umpire standing around the second base area, gazing down the line. Runner goes for second. Kane chops it. That one is foul. Down along the third base line. So a couple of close calls here from Jordan Kane to try to cut into the deficit and make it look a little more respectable for the Hornets. That one is high. Bushy's going to take second base on defensive indifference. Three and two the count now. 2 on, 2 out. Lopes comes home with it. That one is high and the bases are full. And take a look now that we have a moment to pause at that throw from Herrera. The one that almost got the runner's going off with the pitch here. He's in short right and just throws an absolute dart that just about nailed the runner. I mean, yes, he's charging the ball, but bear in mind just how much of a head start that base runner had. He was almost at second base before that thing landed. Got a pinch runner at first base here for some reason. Not entirely sure if this is rally cap time. They've got to do something a little more drastic than that. That one tails inside. A little bit too much movement for its own good, and the count 1-0. Lopes trying to put away the side harmlessly in the ninth. Hornets trying to snatch back a few of the runs that they let UMass Boston pour on them in the bottom half of the sixth inning. If you're just joining us, that's ball 2. If you're just joining us, back the tape up about, I don't know, several years, and to the start of the top of the sixth inning, and you can see UMass Boston put on an offensive onslaught that outpaced their output from either of their first two very well done offensive performances this season. That ball, a rarity, a ball that gets dropped and is still called a strike. 2-1 now. Tyler Roberge at the plate, looking to snatch back a couple of runs with one swing of the bat. Lopes comes home, fouled away. 2-2 now. 15 runs, 14 hits, no errors for the Beacons. 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Hornets. For the Beacons, it's 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 11 in the sixth. That one is high, and the count runs full. So what's about to happen now is one of those rarities in baseball where everyone knows the runner on third is going to be dashing for home with the pitch. There he goes. That one's outside, and Lopes has walked in a run. Second run of the evening for the Hornets. And the batter will be Dylan Wilson. And another pitching change to extend the game. Looks like it may be in order here. Or they may be just be having a conference with him. No, it seems like it is just a chat on the mound here. Anyone's guess as to what's being said on the mound here, but my best guess is my best guess is going to be they're telling Lopes, all right, DJ, you've got to dial in here because you can only give up a couple of home runs here before we start getting worried. So Dylan Wilson strolls to the plate against Lopes, who has had a tough time locating his pitches.
The second baseman, number 33, Dylan Wilson.
2 outs now, bases still loaded. Wilson chops that one into the backstop in the count 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch, swing and a miss, and the Hornets are down to their final strike. An 11 spot in the 6th, 15 for the game. And yet another case of a Hornet opponent hanging double-digit runs on him. It's the 6th time this season. Pitch outside, and Lopes slapping his glove in frustration. Base is still loaded, 1-2, 2 out in the top of the 7th inning. The 7-inning doubleheader. He hacks that one, hit well, but tailing well foul. Second game will be 7 innings as well. You can join us on the same website, different link. Should be able to find it too easily. If not, I don't know, tweet at us or something. We'll get back to you. 1-2 pitch again here to Wilson, and comes inside, ball 2. Deuce is wild here. And 1 run in here in the top of the 7th inning. Lopes trying to put the finishing touches on this one. Line drive up the middle. 1 run is in. Station to station they go. Second run of the frame. 3rd of the game. And now the batter will be John Mahoney. Could this be the beginnings of a rally? Probably not. But let's find out. Mahoney has walked all 3 times, and he takes strike 1 here. He has as many walks in this one as the Beacons had through their first 5 innings. No one else on his team has drawn a walk. Mahoney takes a big late rip at that one. And the count 0-2. Hornets down to their final strike. Here's the pitch outside again. Lopez has had the last hitter in a 2-strike count multiple times. And each time they've wriggled free from his grasp. Ground ball hit, line drive hit, RBI walk, whatever have you. That'll end it. A 15-3 onslaught. UMass Boston over NVU-Lyndon in the first game of a 7-inning doubleheader. I'm going to have a couple quick notes for you before we sign off here. The scoring summary. It's pretty simple. They put up 11 runs in the 6th inning. They sent 16 hitters to the plate. Several of those hitters reached multiple times, and that was what tore the thing open. Looking ahead, you don't have to look too far ahead. Like we've been saying, we got a second game on tap for you. Hope you stick around and watch. Maybe it'll be more competitive. Maybe it will be whatever you want to call this one. I'm going to say a quick thank you to our production team here in just a moment. But before we do the upcoming schedule after today, it's going to be a home game against MIT, and then the team will travel to Concordia University down in Texas. They're going to have 4 games there spread across March 17th, 18th, and 19th to get going. It's their first road trip of the season. Bearing in mind, there have been a couple of postponements due to weather. This game being played kind of just under the wire here. It was originally supposed to be played tomorrow, but it's going to rain, and so the games got bumped up. The Brandeis game that was supposed to be this Wednesday has not yet been rescheduled. The LaSalle game that was supposed to be played at the beginning of this month was instead played yesterday, and the MIT game that's on your screen right now was also supposed to be played about a week and a half ago. Such is the shuffling around of New England baseball at this time of year. But after the Concordia, Texas trip, it's going to be Johnson & Wales and Salve Regina before the start of conference play. Big thank you to our producer, Allie Crawford, to MJ Murphy and Kelly Danahy, our directors, to Gina Albano and Instant Replay, for adding Buddington, Sarah St. Cyrin, and Liz Cramp helping out on the cameras. Once again, the final score from Monin Park, 15-3 in favor of UMass Boston. We hope you'll join us in about 15 minutes for the second end of the doubleheader. I'm Milton Posner. Thank you so very much for watching, and hope to